Welcome to the informative channel, and today we will discuss the real topic. The hidden truth behind the drive to war, an Islamic perspective. What makes humans wage wars in a world that is undeniably beautiful, teeming with breathtaking landscapes, and abundant with resources to sustain life? This question has puzzled philosophers, historians, and theologians for centuries. But what does Islam, one of the world's major faiths, say about the nature of conflict and the reasons that lead people to war? To delve into this topic, we need to explore a blend of spiritual, psychological, and socio-political factors, as outlined in Islamic teachings. Wars have always been a significant chapter in human history. But from an Islamic perspective, war is not inherently glorified or condemned. Instead, it is seen as a human response to a variety of circumstances that, when guided by divine principles, can serve as a means of justice and balance. This nuanced view allows us to unpack the deeper motives that push societies into conflict while examining why Islam emphasizes peace as the ultimate ideal. In Islam, the default state of human affairs is peace. The term Islam itself is derived from the root word salam, meaning peace, which signifies the faith's inherent inclination towards harmony. However, the Quran acknowledges the complexity of human behavior, including the propensity for conflict. As humans, we are endowed with free will, intellect, and desires, which often lead us astray, resulting in wars. One key reason people engage in wars is greed, a theme frequently addressed in Islamic teachings. The Quran speaks about the human tendency to covet wealth, power, and control, leading to aggression and oppression. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:188 warns against unlawfully consuming others' wealth and committing injustice, indicating that such behaviors often escalate into larger conflicts. When nations or leaders are driven by greed, they often justify wars under the pretext of security, freedom, or progress, masking the true intentions of resource exploitation or territorial expansion. Another factor is the quest for dominance and superiority. Islam highlights the destructive nature of arrogance and the desire to impose one's authority over others. The story of Iblis, who refused to bow to Adam due to his sense of superiority, serves as a profound reminder of how arrogance can lead to conflict. In a geopolitical context, this translates into nations or groups seeking to dominate others, believing their ideologies, systems, or culture to be superior. Such attitudes often lead to colonization, invasions, and wars under the guise of civilizing others. Fear and insecurity also drive wars, a point that resonates deeply with Islamic principles. The Quran acknowledges that fear is a natural human emotion but advises against letting it control actions unjustly. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5-8 calls on believers to uphold justice even in the face of hostility, emphasizing that fear should not lead to oppression or unjust actions. Historically, fear of losing power, resources, or identity has been a significant motivator for preemptive strikes and prolonged conflicts. Misinterpretation of religion is another catalyst for war. Islam, like other faiths, has unfortunately been misused by individuals or groups to justify violence. Jihad, a term often misunderstood, exemplifies this. While the Quran emphasizes jihad as striving for self-purification, justice, and the betterment of society, some manipulate it to rationalize their political or personal agendas. This misuse of religion for personal gain is condemned in Islamic teachings, as it betrays the core values of mercy, justice, and compassion. Economic inequality and social injustice also contribute to wars, a theme repeatedly addressed in Islamic ethics. The Quran emphasizes the importance of equitable wealth distribution and the care of the less fortunate. When these principles are ignored, societies become fractured, with poverty and oppression creating fertile ground for uprisings and conflicts. Islam advocates for addressing these root causes through social reform and charity, reducing the likelihood of violence and upheaval. Another element is the human inclination towards vengeance. The cycle of revenge has fueled countless conflicts throughout history. Islam recognizes the emotional drive for retribution but strongly encourages forgiveness and reconciliation. Surah Ash-Shura 42-40 states that while retribution is permitted, forgiveness and patience are far superior. This principle aims to break the destructive cycle of vengeance and replace it with lasting peace. Nationalism and tribalism also play a significant role in the escalation of wars. The Quran critiques blind allegiance to tribal or nationalistic pride, urging believers to unite under the banner of justice and humanity. Surah Al-Hujurat, 49-13, reminds us that diversity among people is meant for mutual recognition and learning, not division or hostility. However, when nationalism or tribalism becomes a tool for division, it often leads to conflicts over borders, resources, or cultural dominance. The role of leadership cannot be ignored when examining the reasons for war. In Islam, leaders are entrusted with the responsibility of ensuring justice, fairness, and the welfare of their people. Yet, history is replete with examples of corrupt leadership leading nations into unnecessary wars for personal or political gain. The Quran explicitly warns against following leaders who incite violence and oppression, urging people to hold their rulers accountable. Despite acknowledging these various causes of war, Islam remains a faith deeply committed to the pursuit of peace. The Quran outlines strict conditions under which war is permissible, primarily as a last resort for self-defense or the protection of the oppressed. Even then, the guidelines emphasize minimizing harm, protecting non-combatants, and seeking peace whenever possible. This balance ensures that while war may sometimes be necessary, it is never glorified or undertaken lightly. The Islamic emphasis on peace and justice extends beyond theoretical teachings to practical applications. Historical examples, such as the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, demonstrate how Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, prioritized diplomacy and peace-building over conflict. His leadership serves as a timeless model for resolving disputes through dialogue, compromise, and mutual respect. In conclusion, while our world is indeed beautiful and abundant, the reasons for war often stem from human failings such as greed, arrogance, fear, and misjudgment. Islam provides a framework to address these issues, emphasizing peace, justice, and reconciliation. By understanding these principles, we can aspire to create a world where wars become a rarity, and the beauty of our existence can be fully cherished. And thanks for watching the video.